Special thanks to Ruggiero for allowing the story to be shared. Check the description for their details, and now, onto the story. When the Council first found out about the humans, nobody could believe it. A sapient species hailing from a void zone. Higgs boson counts are too low in these void zones for the particle to have any sizable effect on matter, hence the region's designation. Before humanity, the very same idea that sentient life could even develop under such conditions was thought impossible. The human sector in particular has a Higgs density of 1 particle per cubic light year, effectively creating the worst void zone known thus far. And technically, it was the humans that found us. Because, yes, we never thought of scanning void zones. Our technology is not capable of such a feat, nor we had any interest in doing such a thing. So when the first human craft came out of the void zone, hailing on a rather crude FTL engine, the Council, not without a lot of shock, finally registered the existence of this new, weird species. And naturally, we made first contact. The video of the meeting can be found at the link I'm sending you all, and I highly recommend watching it before our next class. Anyway, as I was saying, humans had their first contact with the Council's Trixilian ambassador. It is recorded that the first thing the ambassadors noticed was the spaceship's technological level. They noted an incredibly void dynamic design and visibly superior craftsmanship and technological level than those of the very intergalactic Union. They called the head engineer of their own ship to even ask her what she thought about such a spacecraft, only to receive further confirmation of the humans' incredible science. Then began the long act of first contact. The ambassadors contacted the human craft, named Ad Astra, and started exchanging first basic scientific principles and simple extralingual information in order to establish a common ground between the two species. At first, there was something in the humans' responses and messages that didn't sound right, but nobody on the Trixilian spaceship, the Space Queen, could exactly point out what, nor they could see it as more than a confused hunch. While the scientists of the two species talked and elaborated on their knowledge, exchanging various information, in slightly less than a standard hour, 40 minutes by human criteria, the humans' software succeeded in coding a first crude translator. When they sent their first message coded in Alphorian, the Trixilian language spoken on the Space Queen. The crew was shocked. Who were these humans that could decipher an alien language, their first alien language, so fast? The Trixilians began asking questions upon questions about the humans' home planet, their biological specs, their culture, and so on and so forth, while also asking a plethora of different questions on every little thing they could think of. Again, the Trixilians found it odd, but couldn't properly see the reason. After giving the humans a whole biology guide to their, well, biology, the humans asked for a formal meeting face-to-face, they said. They promised they wouldn't present any threat whatsoever to the crew and offered to let only 3 humans on board of the Space Queen. It was weird and possibly a trap, but the ambassadors thought that only 3 specimens wouldn't be able to pose a real danger anyway, and so accepted, at the condition that the humans would undergo a series of medical and security tests to ascertain the safety of the Trixilian crew. The humans accepted and immediately started closing in with their spaceship. There is no video recording of the event, but I think it's important to know that the Ad Astra slid to the side of the Space Queen and then morphed, creating a docking port that, according to the Trixilians' testimony, never existed until moments before. Yes, class, the Trixilian crew that witnessed it all said that the human ship morphed as if alive and grew a docking port that wasn't there until a moment before. How it happened is a mystery and a clear sign of an unknown advanced technology. Quoting the words of the ambassador Elir. Here are the photos of the 3 humans that boarded the Space Queen. From left to right, you can see their captain, the head scientist, and the head engineer. What they are wearing is a spacesuit to ensure no bacterial or viral exchange between the 2 species. In the photo, 3 bipedal creatures, 4 limbs in total, stand in a decontamination chamber. They wear gray-black spacesuits that seem to adhere to their body like a second skin, highlighting and emphasizing their body's form, and that show no apparent sign of seams or joints. All 3 of them seem excited. The one on the left bent over a small window to look inside the Space Queen's interior. They happily complied to every test the Trixilians did, confirming the medical information previously shared. Then they finally sat down at a meeting table in front of the Space Queen's captain, the Trixilian ambassador, and a team of scientists of various fields. Then they began talking. They started from the biology field and branched out. It was clear to everybody on board that they were extremely happy for whatever reason, and the meeting went off without a hitch. They talked about their home planet, Earth, a medium-sized globe with an axis inclination of 23.5 degrees, different biomes, and an elliptical orbit. Until a Trixilian scientist asked about their physics and if they had found all 15 fundamental particles, to which the human scientist answered that there were actually 17 and started listing them. And so the Trixilians discovered that there were actually 18 fundamental particles. Because the humans didn't know about the Higgs boson, how could that be possible? How could a spacefaring, nay, a sapient species, not know about the Higgs boson? How did their technology even work then? Where exactly were these humans coming from? The Trixilians asked, shocked, and the answer left everyone speechless. These humans hailed from the very center of a void zone. They were a void-dwelling species. No wonder their technology had seemed so different, so alien. It worked with different physical laws. No wonder they hadn't shown the slightest speck of psychic abilities on their medical reports. No wonder they didn't know what the Higgs boson was. They couldn't observe it on their home planet, nor on any of their colonized ones. Because yes, they had been a spacefaring species for centuries already, but they had never ventured outside of the void. They had terraformed more than 100 planets and colonized another 10 already favorable to life. No wonder their FTL engine was so crude and yet so advanced. It worked without the Higgs reaction and on a technology far more advanced than ours at the same time. When we tried explaining these things to the humans and showed them the Higgs boson, their scientists were utterly shocked. What we knew as a natural effect of the Higgs boson, they called it magic. Ghosts, transmutations, telekinetic alien species, psychic abilities. Everything that was the norm for the galaxy was unknown and a mystery to these humans. Then they explained the fundamentals of their technology: nanites, controlled nuclear fusion, gluonic engines, pseudo-gravity wells, quantum entangled communication, to us. Whatever they mentioned was far more magic to us than what we showed them. Spaceships able to change their form in the deep void of space as if made of sentient metal. Spacesuits that merged with the skin like if they were alive, engines that used energies so powerful that they could easily destroy half a country if detonated. When we measured Earth's magical ability, as the humans had named it, that is the concentration of Higgs boson, their planet resulted being a Class 10 anti-magic world in their own categorization, an A++ death world in the Galactic Union's tiered scale. Because, as you all well know, the laws of physics change inside of a void zone, and many species can't even survive in such harsh environments, depending on the Higgs boson presence, hence the death of Death World. Apart from the initial shock and awe at each other, the humans and Trixilians both found the other quite pleasant, and soon signed an agreement with each other, thus starting a long interspecies relationship that, to this very day, still stands strong. The humans then spent the next century studying the Higgs boson, rapidly becoming the leading scientific species of the entire Union, and divulging their own technology to the entire space community, de facto throwing all of us in the future by many centuries. The year this fateful encounter took place, and was 6667 YI, or 2743 AD in human terms, and to this day, in my opinion, we still haven't witnessed the full potential of this new, incredible species that is humankind. That's all for today, class. For next time, watch the video I'll send you and read the chapter about the human brain, as we'll speak about their psychic abilities. Have a nice day. Professor Ulrich Senner, Introduction to Lessons About Human Magic, Intergalactic Academy of Philosophy and Knowledge of Galara, 7730 IY.